holidays, PWS. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving and ate a lot of delicious food.
Speaking of food, did you hear how well our school did with the food drive?
Yes, we had a total of 3,283 food items donated to the New Hampshire Food Bank.
Wow, that's a lot of food. How are they going to get all that food out to the hungry families?
Great question. Sanvi sat down with an employee from the New Hampshire Food Bank to find out more about this wonderful cause.
PWS also shows giving to others by doing acts of kindness, like our All-Star Challenge.
Yes, Kate discovered that Mrs. Enderwick's class, like many others, also do an activity to celebrate acts of kindness.
Let's listen to all the ways that PWS gives back.
Hi, I'm Sanvi and I'm interviewing
Eileen Laponis, the Executive Director for the New Hampshire Food Bank.
And today we are going to talk about, the New Hampshire Food Bank. And so what is the New Hampshire Food Bank?
The New Hampshire Food Bank is one of 200 food banks throughout the country. For the state of New Hampshire, we have just the one food bank, and we are the backbone of charitable food distribution throughout the state. And we have 425 agencies throughout the state, and those are the folks that are the soldiers in the field that do the work for us, and they help the 1 in 9 New Hampshire citizens that do not have enough to eat, and they are called food insecure. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. So those are the folks that we collect food for, and we distribute it out to our 400 plus agencies, and those are your soup kitchens, your food pantries, your after-school feeding programs, and feeding programs for the elderly as well that we support.
Okay. And how do you distribute the food out to the people in need?
Sure. So those 425 agencies are throughout the state, and if they are outside 50 miles of the New Hampshire Food Bank, we deliver to them. If they are within that 50 miles of the New Hampshire Food Bank, they come to us. And they are able to order online just like you order through Amazon. And then they come and they pick up their order.
Okay. And is there a time of year that you need the most food?
We usually consider winter to be our hardest time because folks always have extra expenses to pay for during the winter, like heat and electricity to keep warm. And so that's when that extra money sometimes gets taken away from the food budget and goes to the heating budget. So it's winter time that we are always most concerned. But hunger knows no holiday, and the hunger is here all year round.
Okay. And it's called the New Hampshire Food Bank, so how do the people who live in other states get food if they need it?
Sure. So like I said, we're one of 200 food banks throughout the country. We're under the umbrella of an organization called Feeding America, and they take in national donations for us. And then we also have relationships locally with grocery partners. And so we get groceries both on a national level and on a local level. And so for our neighboring states, Vermont and Maine, they're just like us. They have just the one food bank that delivers to all their agencies.
Okay. And thank you.
Hi, I'm Kate from the 180 News team, here to tell you about the Lights of Kindness that Mrs. Enderwick's class does. The Lights of Kindness is a little activity where your teacher will ask you at the end of the day if you or any classmate has done anything kind to you. And then your teacher will take some of your ideas, write it down on a giant light, and stick it on their door. Maybe you can check it out someday too.
All that talk about giving back and being kind to others has inspired me to continue to be kind, especially at recess.
While we are on the subject of recess, I think the rules may have changed a little bit now that it is winter and the snow is coming.
I sat down with Mr. Mitchell and Will talked with Mrs. Ference to find out how recess will look different in the coming months. The activities and rules you have to follow will change now that it is winter and snow is coming. Hi, I'm Allie from the Channel 180 News team, and I'm here with Mr. Mitchell to discuss the new playground rules now that it's winter. What are the new rules for the playground?
Great question, Allie. So there are no new rules for the playground in the winter. We still have the basic rules of use the equipment appropriately, use everything out there the way it should be used, be safe, be respectful of others, their safe and their space and the equipment. The only additional rule for the wintertime is if there's snow on the ground, then if you want to play where the snow is, you need to make sure that you have boots, snow pants, appropriate jacket, gloves, and a hat. And if you don't have all those things, then you're kind of limited to the blacktop. And if there's no snow in the area, you can go in the big toy. But those are really the only new rules that are just for winter.
What are the consequences if a student is caught breaking that rule?
So, not that it's a rule, but like I just said, if you don't have the appropriate winter attire, then you're kind of limited to where you go in recess. And consequences for breaking the recess rules are the same throughout the year, and we try to take those on a case-by-case basis, which means we're going to look at the student, look what they did, ask why they did it, try to figure out how many times they've done it before, and then what we really try to do is make sure that the consequence matches the offense, if you will, what they did. So if it's a minor thing, it may just be a reminder. If it's a pretty major thing, it could be time out during recess on the rocks. If it's really major, it could be a meeting with myself or Mrs. Daly, talking with your teacher, loss of recess. We never try to take away recess the entire time, but you may have to spend some time with me or Mrs. Daly in the office for a couple minutes for the next couple of days. And then sometimes, if we have to, we'll call students' parents and get them involved as well. Because really what we want to do is fix this problem as opposed to just punish the student.
I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, PW students. I'm with Mrs. Ferentz to talk about things to do on the playground during winter. Mrs. Ferentz, if you forget your snow clothes, what are some things we could play on the blacktop?
Great question. So if you forget your snow clothes, the blacktop's a great place to play. All the games that we have to play are posted here on the game board. And remember, this fall we talked about different games such as keep away or hoop ball. The directions will be here on the game board for you if you forgot. Other great games, jump rope, you can do hula hoop, you can play hopscotch, you can play foursquare. Also, volleying and passing and catching is all fun. And 5,000 football pass is a great game as well.
Mrs. If you do remember your snow clothes, what can you play in the snow?
All right, so if you have your hat and your gloves, you have your coat, your snow pants and boots, snow is a great place to play. One of my favorite things to do is to go sledding, to build snow forts, to build snowmen. Also, there's these great targets out there that you can throw snowballs at. That's a ton of fun. But coming soon, we're going to be starting Snowshoe Club. And if you want to snowshoe on those wintry days, you would meet over by the garden shed, and we can get the snowshoes out and have a lot of fun getting tracks in the snow out behind in the field.
Do you have any recess reminders about recess rules?
Yes, thanks for asking, Will. So remember to please keep the equipment off the snow in the winter time and only on the blacktop. And also, if you could help out our equipment managers by bringing the equipment back to the cart when you are done, then they don't have to run all over and find the equipment, and other kids would know where to find the equipment because it would be on the cart. So winter's a great time to play out here in the snow, and I hope that you do choose to wear your snow clothes so that you can go out and enjoy those activities. Thanks for interviewing me, Will. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Great questions
Thank
today.
you, Mrs. Ferentz.
Playing outside in the snow at recess gets me excited, just like the upcoming holidays do.
You're not alone. Lots of kids get excited about the holidays. Some, in fact, are so excited that they're having a bit of trouble staying in the green zone.
I asked Mrs. Clark for some helpful strategies and hints for staying in the green zone during this time of year.
Staying in the green zone, though, doesn't mean you can't have any fun. I think you also visited with Mrs. Stoll to find out what holiday activities she is planning with her class.
Hi, I'm Libby here with Mrs. Clark on how to stay in the green zone. Mrs. Clark, can you tell us the tips to stay in the green zone because it's near winter vacation and kids have a lot of energy?
They do. It's a very exciting time of year, and everybody has a lot of energy. So my suggestion is to try and get as much of that energy out as you can by playing outside when you have a chance at recess, run around, jump, climb, swing, and if you're stuck inside sometimes, do some Go Noodle or some other kinds of exercises and rechargers. That'll get some energy out.
Why is it important to stay in the green zone?
It's important to be in the green zone at school because that is the best zone for learning. It's when our bodies are calm and our brains are focused and we're feeling good and we can do our best learning.
What are some times you should not be in the green zone?
Well, it's expected sometimes that we're not in the green zone. You can't help it if sometimes you feel sad and you're in the blue zone, or frustrated in the yellow zone, or something happens that causes you to feel angry in the red zone. So those would be times that you would not be in the green zone, but we can't help the way we feel, but we do have to still be responsible for the way that we act.
How do you help kids stay in the green zone?
Well, it's funny because sometimes the kids call me the feelings teacher at Peter Woodbury, and I guess I help kids understand that all feelings are okay to have, and that if they're not in the green zone, that there are ways that they can get back to the green zone. So if they're feeling upset, they don't have to stay feeling upset. They can use some tools or some strategies, like doing the rechargers or using lazy 8 breathing or squeezing a stress ball, things like that can help them feel better, and then they can get back in the green zone.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. Hi, I'm Libby, interviewing Mrs. Stahl about holiday activities. How do you make work fun for the holidays?
So I'm trying to do one fun thing or one special thing each day for the next week and a half or so.
How do you keep calm? Because kids have a lot of energy around the holidays.
Good question. We all seem to have a lot of energy, and a lot of the students seem to go between the yellow zone, really excited, and the blue zone. So we, as a class, do a lot of rechargers and breathing activities. And if I feel myself starting to get in the yellow zone, sometimes I just go to my desk and do some of the breathing activities.
What is one of the activities you play with your class?
So my class doesn't know it yet, but we're going to do our first breakout. It's the Rudolph breakout. So I'm really looking forward to that.
What is your favorite holiday activity?
My favorite activity is inviting the parents to come in to our class to share whatever holiday or tradition they celebrate, and yeah, they share it with the class. Yesterday we had a parent come in and we played a game with dreidels.
Thank you, Mrs. Stahl.
We all hope you have a safe and happy holiday. Try to do a random act of kindness over break.
One of the winter activities that Mrs. Ference suggested sounded so fun, I want to try it at home.
I plan on going skiing over vacation. Whatever you choose to do, remember to be kind and safe and to have fun.
Happy holidays!